Hi, this is Becky with Fluency, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you ways to implement top-notch customer service for Amazon that will really just help you and your sales to do better on Amazon and for your brand to do better on Amazon as well. So in today's video, I want to share with you practical, helpful ways that really can overall improve your Amazon Seller Central account health, that can improve even your sales and other things like that. It's really going to be minor little things that you can do to impact your bottom line. So, it's really important to have top-notch customer service on Amazon. Why is that? Amazon is super customer centric. If you have been selling on Amazon for any amount of time, or if you've ever been a customer buying from Amazon, you know how they've really taken down a lot of barriers from even making a purchase and making it as seamless as possible because they really want to provide people with top-notch service for the customers. And really, this is an indicator of why we see such high conversion rates happen on Amazon, with 12% kind of being an average, but we have seen, even quadruple that or more. But this is really part of that reason. People love shopping there. They know the kind of process of dealing with Amazon. But it is important that you as a brand, when you're selling on Amazon and you have your Seller Central account, that you're doing things to make sure you're staying on top of providing customer service. Because while Amazon does offer a customer service piece, really there are opportunities for you as well to make sure that you're giving customers an amazing experience with your brand and your products. So the first one is to respond quickly. So inside Seller Central, you have buyer seller messages. This is where people can reach out to you if they have any questions, if they have any issues with their orders. Not everyone uses this, but when you do get a message through buyer sellers, messages, make sure to handle that quickly. You never want to go over 24 hours, but ideally, especially if it's happening, during normal business hours in the US, that you're handling those very, very quickly so that you can avoid any kind of issue with maybe someone getting frustrated and just deciding, well, I'm just going to get a refund, or, I'm just going to leave a, bad review. You want to make sure to handle it as soon as possible when you see that come through. This will really help you to build trust with your brand, to really show that you value them as a customer. Even though this is happening through the Amazon platform, they're still someone that's interacting with your brand. And if they have a negative experience, that is something that may cause you to lose out on future sales with that customer. The second thing to do is to make sure to be helpful and friendly. Now, this may come without saying, but customer service, you need to be polite, professional, friendly when interacting with them. Understand and empathize with them that sometimes they're very frustrated on what happened. And yes, sometimes it may have been something with a shipment issue and you're using Fulfilled by Amazon and it's not your fault, but you can still help them to empathize with them and to apologize and to let them know that you understand why they're frustrated. This can really diffuse situations from getting really bad and out of control to getting handled very quickly and very well. Also, just provide helpful solutions to their problems or concerns. If there's something that's really a challenge for them, make sure you lay it out for them quick and easy ways to get this taken care of. Maybe they want a replacement. Make sure you walk them through what does that look like, getting a replacement, helping them to kind of, have a step-by-step way of doing this, because for some people, this is a little bit more challenging of figuring out where to go inside their Amazon account when they're buying things. So just make sure to let them know that too. You can also really make this very personalized, engaging. So make sure you're using their names and make sure you're, helping them in every way that you can. The third thing you can do is to personalize your message. Now, I kind of touched on this on the second one, but make sure that you're addressing that specific issue and that specific customer. So although templated responses can be helpful if it's, if you're seeing things outside of business hours, it is really helpful to make sure that they feel like they're being dealt with as an individual, with their specific problem that they're dealing with. Because what one customer has an issue with, this might be a totally different issue. So making sure that you're really acknowledging their concerns, that you're empathizing, like I said, and understanding them, and just really giving them an above and beyond experience with your brand. This is really going to build that more trust with them, that there's already that trust with the Amazon platform, but now you can build that trust with your brand specifically as well. So you'll really want to make sure to address their concerns and help them and follow through with those as well. Maybe they need some follow-ups on some tracking numbers or things like that, or where's their package. Letting them know and really kind of following through with that is going to mean so much to them. Even if they don't respond, they're going to notice that you've taken notice of them, that you've taken the time and the concern to really deal with their concern and their issue to resolve it for them. The fourth thing to do to give top-notch customer service on Amazon is to go above and beyond. So really think about if they've gotten something that maybe the product has it where there's like a lid and the lid popped off and everything spilled everywhere. Typically Amazon is good about dealing with refunds and returns. However, there are certain product categories where it doesn't give them an option to do that. So this is where you could go above and beyond and say, hey, typically this isn't allowed. It's not allowed. That sounds kind of wrong. But typically, yes, you're not able to return it. Please just keep it. We don't want you to inconvenience with having to return it or ship it back anyways. Like if they can't, then obviously that's, something they wouldn't be able to do, but we've already issued you a credit and a refund for this. And we apologize that it arrived damaged and it spilled everywhere or something like that. So just kind of think of ways to go above and beyond and realize, especially for your products where they're looking at making repurchases potentially in the future, that by doing this early on or at any stage in the process, you're going to help build a longer lifetime value for that customer, because they're going to understand, even if there is an issue with their product arriving spilled, that this brand cares and they will go above and beyond to take care of me. And like I said, some of this you do have to be proactive in when they reach out to you to kind of go, like I said, do that, what's not even required by Amazon, but go above and beyond, because that'll just really help encourage them in the future to say, okay, even when I do have issues, they've taken care of me. The fifth thing to do is to monitor your feedback. So you get actually seller feedback for all of the orders that come through when people do leave, any kind of feedback on your account. This is really helpful to be paying attention to. You can look to see if there's any issues or any patterns of issues that might be happening where you might need to improve. Maybe there is something that people are confused about and your current product listing doesn't really explain it very well. So this could be something where maybe, okay, it's not very clear that this does not have this ingredient or does have this ingredient. So maybe we need to change something in our images. Maybe we need to add it into the bullet points, something that is visible for the customer so that you can kind of correct a situation before it even happens, before the purchase is made, by making things really crystal clear on your listing. And other things that you can get seller, or feedback on. This is more of like on the customer review side. Sometimes they do leave it on your seller feedback where they'll say something happened with their order. On the product reviews, you can also be tracking those as well. And the neat thing about that is, if you ever see anything they've had a negative experience, you can reach out to them typically and try to go kind of to that previous step that I said about going above and beyond. So maybe they did, go outside of that 30-day window of the return period, but there's something that they realize, was an issue for them. Then maybe there's a way to fix that. And two, if it's something like with an ingredient or thing like that, if you have a broader product line, think about maybe an alternative for them. This is going to be helpful for them as well. Hey, this might not work for you, but have you given this product of ours a try? I think that this would be, work really well instead, because it doesn't contain this ingredient or whatever it is that's causing them to not be able to use that other product. So I'll also think about that when you're, engaging with your customers. Another thing, and I kind of touched on this on the last one a little bit, but make sure to provide your detailed product information. So this is really, you're going to want to know that you want everything to be crystal clear on what they're getting, what are they getting, when they make a purchase from this listing. So if there's something where, they're getting more than one product, make sure to make that very clear. Or if, especially if you start to see negative things come in. I've seen this a lot with size reference, like, oh, it's a lot smaller than I thought it would be or something. Then it would be very helpful to have more of an accurate lifestyle photo. And I mean, not the weird Photoshop pictures that you see on Amazon all the time for listings, but like an actual real life, okay, this is, here's a hand and this is the actual product in reference to it, so that people can not go in thinking, oh, I thought that this was this big and it's only this big. When you see those things, make sure to use that to inform your listing descriptions, your images. Like I said, there's a lot of different places you can do that, because the last thing you want to do is you get that sale, but then they have to return it, because that costs money to return. It costs them time and a negative experience. You just want the customer to know what they're getting into so that they can make an informed decision on what they're buying. And then the last thing you can do is offer different channels of communication. So you're always wanting to go through Amazon's portal and way of communicating, but within your product box, for instance, then let them know that there's also a phone number that they can call. And, make it easy for them if they need to send you a message through the buyer seller messages on Amazon. Have different ways so that you can even provide that top-notch customer service without them having no idea of how to get in touch with you. And I think one of the easiest things is on the box itself. It's a great way for you to let them know, here's our dedicated customer service line, for instance, where you can call, because especially certain demographics, they might find it a little bit more challenging to reach out even to Amazon customer service, because we found that it can be very challenging sometimes of, okay, how do I get in touch with someone and where do I even go? So providing that somewhere on your product itself or on the product box will really kind of help them cut down, because they could have had a negative experience and now they know, okay, I can just call this number and I can talk to someone and they can figure out a solution for me, of whether it's, oh no, it arrived spilled or whatever the issue is. So this is just, like I said, another way just to make it easier for people if they do have an issue to reach out to your customer service team. And that way you can also, a lot of times with that, help kind of reduce those amounts of negative reviews that are just based on something that's outside of your control. For instance, sometimes shipping happens where things do get broken or spilled, and that's really not a reflection necessarily on your product, but those reviews are challenging, if not impossible most of the times, to get removed, because Amazon is still seeing that somewhat as a review, and they are not as liberal as removing those as they used to be a few years ago. So if you think of ways, like I said, to provide, here's a way to reach out to us, really simple, really easy. Also, here's how to get in touch with us through the Amazon buyer seller messages, kind of walking them through what that would be. There's a lot of different ways you could do that, but just make sure you're offering different ways for them to reach out to you. So I hope that this is helpful. I have shared with you 7 different ways to implement, really top-notch customer service through your Amazon Seller Central. This is going to be great because then you are going to have a great seller feedback on your account. And if if you've been around Amazon for any time, that does impact the amount of buy box sale, like the buy box that you have. And even if you're the only seller, this is still important to have. This will kind of help with anytime you're trying to get seen on searches and with your paid advertising, because once they know that account and that listing, those customers are going to be well attended to. That just really does help. And it is a factor within how Amazon shows your, product listings in search results and things like that. So I hope that you find that helpful. Would love to hear from you on anything that you've implemented or something that you may have still a question on. Feel free to drop that wherever you're watching this video. And I hope that you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to check out our website at clickfluency.com for more information, and follow us on all of our social media channels so that you can make sure you're getting the latest news in e-commerce.